Hi guys, Steve here, and I'm going to show you my base. I shot this footage quite a while ago before the toad was in the game. I didn't want to upload it then because I'm on an official PvP server, and this video would help people to raid me. I've built it completely by myself, and it took over 4 months to finish. I've hid it so well that in that time I was never raided. To try and stop people getting killed, I've put a friendly sign down to warn people away. The first thing you come across is a row of T-Rex bollards that completely surround the base. If they had put walls down, yes, it would protect me, but they'd also hide the enemy behind them. Raiders could have got in close, moved behind the wall, and took their time to plan the attack. They then could have blown a hole in a wall, and only a fraction of my turrets would be able to hit them when they show themselves. But with these bollards, every single turret in range will attack the raider when they approach the base. Need to be at least 2 pillars high to stop the T-Rexes climbing over them. Place them far enough forward to stop any attacking dinosaurs reaching the plants behind them. At the time, the T-Rex and the Spino were the biggest carnivores in the game, but since they've added the Gigantosaurus, you might want to move the pillars forward more and make them taller. I've also put bear traps down, because if any dinosaur stands on them, it will throw the rider off and he'll get killed. This is the only entrance into my base, and it's between 2 long rows of plant turrets. I can block it off at night with spike walls or pillars. It leads down to my dinosaur pit, where I keep the biggest dinosaurs. This was built after my main house, as a necessity to keep my larger dinosaurs safe. I keep the T-Rexes on passive, as the base will defend them against any raiders. Another downside about having walls is that they can be seen from the air, where these pillars are almost invisible. The Carnos and Sabres I use as my guard dogs, and they kill any raptors or birds that come into my base. When you want to place down a row of plants, create a line of stone piping. Then when you get a right position and angle, you can replace it with metal pipes, and put your crop plots down last. There are 3 rows of plants to defend each side of my base. As each one is at a different angle, they each need their own separate water tanks to keep the plant rows irrigated. I've put extra turrets here to protect the tanks and stop people coming up the back. Those pillars reach to the end of the cliff, so there's no way up here. And the turret fire will reach right down to the bottom of the hill. That's also bear trapped to stop any large dinosaurs getting up here. I'll show you what dinos I keep here. To collect all my berries, I have a high level stego. It's fairly new, so it hasn't been leveled up yet. I've deliberately not gone for the Bronto, as it can be seen from the air and give my base position away. I've got quite a lot of Dinos, and I can trade their eggs with other tribes, so I can get any other ones I need. The Rexes were perfect 120 tames with kibble. I just need to level up 2 of them a bit more. You can learn how to make kibble here. Having a mammoth is essential to get a good supply of wood, and I've just got 1 croc to give me a steady supply of eggs. I've put some more turrets here to again stop them coming up the back cliff. They wouldn't be able to get a large dino up here, and so the turrets will attack any players or birds. And it also stops them from coming in at the side. As you can see, I've got a nice layer of metal spikes protecting the building. I've created a clear path from the dino pit up to the main house, so I can move dinosaurs back and forth. The flags look nice and shows the NOOBLETS quality seal of approval. I've got my female ape bouncer guarding the door, and a second row of plants guarding the main house because that's where all the valuables are kept. I leave the sabres on neutral at night to protect this area, but to be honest I don't get very many wild animals coming here. This front layer of plants is being fed water by the second layer. I've got 2 pipes connecting both systems together, as you want a backup in case one of them gets broken. Make sure there's enough distance between the plants and the bollard wall. If they're too close together, dinosaurs will be able to reach over and destroy your plants. Let's have a look down the right hand side. Again you have a long row of plant turrets. The water tanks for this plant row are kept behind those spikes next to the house. I didn't want to put all the tanks down here because they would be too out in the open and they might get destroyed. And of course you have a wall of Rex bollards to protect your plants. And this extends right up to the end of a cliff. So like every other side of my house, if somebody came in to attack, they wouldn't just have a few plants hitting them, they'd have the full force of the entire row shooting at them. There are also a lot of bear traps down this side, so if a dino steps on them, again the rider will get thrown off and get killed. Because the cliff is less steep here, I've added a metal behemoth gate to the side of the house to deter people attacking from this side. Oh, one thing I would advise is instead of having one single pipe going down to feed all the plants water, I would have 2 lines of pipes going down just as a backup in case one breaks. Okay, now we get to the main house defences. Each side has its own dual auto turrets. From here they can cover the dino pit, shoot forward to the front of the base, down the side and above the house. If you've seen my video on how to set up an electrical system, you'll know how and why I've placed them here. If not, you can click this link and you'll pick up some useful tips on how to place a generator and turrets. There's some of the water tanks for the plants at the front of the base. The middle auto turrets are mainly used to shoot at things at the front of the base. However, I've also positioned them to protect the right and left auto turret towers. So if raiders manage to take one side down and get close to those side turrets, the middle turrets will shoot the enemy and protect that platform. From here, they've got really good all-round coverage. Then because it's tall, you can place down a large ballista turret behind your auto turrets. This is also able to cover the entire front of your base. You can have multiple ones if you like, but remember I'm just here by myself, so I only can man one at a time. They're good for attacking large dinosaurs at close range, but it's really difficult to hit one when it's far away. That's another water tank for the plants at the front. I've got room to put other ones down if I need. Those are the tanks for the right hand side of the house. The ones below is down the hill. Like the opposite side, these turrets are positioned diagonally out from a corner of the house, and you get a better look at the behemoth gate. And again, these turrets shoot behind the building, down to the sides, and also in front. So you're not just getting the 2 middle turrets shooting forward, but a minimum of 4 or maybe 6. That pipe feeds a first and second row of plant turrets. You can put spikes down to protect your pipes, but don't put them down in front of your plants as they can't shoot through them. That's my temporary farm that I used to plant crops to make my kibble. I just leave them there for a backup now in case I have to grow extra. Now on to the main house. I've built my main entrance on the 2nd floor, and the only way up to it is by this wooden ramp. I chose wood because if they place C4 on these doors to blow them open, then the blast will demolish the ramp and I won't be able to get in. So by attacking my house, you make it stronger. They will be then forced to try and get in from the ground floor, which is much tougher and there's nothing down there of any value. But let's say they do manage to get in through the main door. When they blow it open, they'll find that there's another door waiting for them. Now they've got to try and blow their way through this door, but that'll be harder than they think because I've created a kill zone. I've placed windows above so I can shoot down at them with an assault rifle. There's a window both sides so I can shoot the opposite corner. So let's say they manage to blow out this door. They'll just find another one. This entire front section of a house has been made purely for them to attack. It's enclosed so they can run around in here but not get to the main house. Through this door you've found an empty room and a ladder. And you end up in a secure room in the top corner of the house. It's from here you can shoot down into the kill zone. Open a window and sniper people in front of a house. Or shoot down from one of the side windows. In the opposite doorway you'll find a small corridor. And when you climb the ladder it will take you to the room with the other window to the kill zone. Or you can open a window and have a really good sniping position. I'll leave that door for now because you'll see where it goes in a second. Down below we get to another door, and inside there we find my Dimorphs of death. It took a while to collect these little fellas, and all of them were above level 60 before I tamed them. I've taken them out and leveled them quite a few times. You can see the video here. They would be really good at defending your base, and it's funny what they can do, so it's worth a watch. I've got 20 of them at the moment, and it's a bit of a pain to feed them, so I put a trough down in a corner. I can just put the meat in there and it'll feed them all at once. If you're being raided, you can open their door and then send them to attack the enemy. It's best to use them to attack the players riding the dinosaurs, because if you send them in against a max level large carno like a Spino, they will get killed. It would be nice to see what 100 of them could do, but I might need a bigger place to store them. Now we come to the hatch in the floor. This takes us to the front bottom section of my house. Here I grow the 4 vegetables you need for kibble that you can't farm with a dinosaur. You can click this link to learn how to grow crops and set up an irrigation system. You only really need 4 plots to grow kibble, so these will give you as much crops as you need. Through this door is an extra layer to the side of the house. And then this one takes you to the front corner. I've extended the power cable down to power the outside turrets. I've got the water coming in from the outside. Through this door we have the maze. All this section of the house does is slow the attackers down and waste a huge amount of their explosives. Each of the rooms are 1 block square, so if a raider comes in this way they've got to blow through one wall, then the next, then the next. If they've tried to blow their way in through the main door and destroyed the ramp outside, this is the only way they can get in. When you build a base, you want it to become stronger when it's attacked, and control what the raiders will do before they even get there. As I want people to come in here, I'm not going to store anything of value, so I just place beds here that I can spawn from. Make sure I've closed all the doors, because I don't want to forget and leave any open in case I'm raided. That's the front of the building that I expect to be attacked. Now you get to see the main building. I just open these doors, and here's the inside dino pen. Here I keep all my flyers, my scorpion egg farm for T-Rex kibble, and my valuable harvesting dinosaurs. I'll just give you a sec to look around. The roof is double layered and has one metal ceiling tile directly on top of another. It took a lot of extra work, but it will stop people coming in from the top. Okay, we have a small group of dodos. They produce hundreds of eggs, so that's all you need. The saber was the only dinosaur at a time that could harvest chitin to make cement paste. The Doedicurus has been in the game for just over a week, and I used it to build a fence around the base. All the other stone for the main house was literally picked up by hand. As you can see, you can balance egg-laying dinosaurs on the catwalk, so the eggs drop down and you can just pick them up. I don't use the Ankylo that much at the moment, so I store him on the ramp. This I think is quite neat. I have 4 compost bins to make all the fertiliser for the plants outside. It's fine for me, but probably best if you build more. I have storage next to it to keep all the thatch and fertiliser. Then a feeding trough to feed all the dinosaurs up here. All fitting in one nice tidy layout. You don't want too many dinosaurs in here, or you can't get the birds in and out. For flyers, I have a Petra that I use for battle. 2 Argent birds that I've levelled up to carry cargo. I've spec'd the 2 of them into carrying weight, so I can take them to the mountain and bring back lots of metal. I spec'd this old Petra into speed and used him as a scout. Then I'll leave this low level one next to the beach when I take a dolphin out to get oil. Revenge was my first warbird. He's in retirement, so I keep him around as a backup. If you're being attacked from the front, you need a back exit, so I can use this to leave or enter the base without the raiders at the front noticing. You want the flyers at the back end of the base so they can use that exit. If you stored any other dino there, you'd have to keep moving them out of the way to let the birds out. Now we get to the main living area. I find this quite useful. I've put a hatch there with a large storage box behind it. That's because when I fly in with a lot of resources, I leave the main door open if I'm going back out again. It's a bit risky that somebody could come in, but I can just open the hatch and put all the resources in a large storage box. I can even store items in a box next to it. So if somebody did perform a miracle of flying past all my turrets, getting in my base, shooting me in the back of the head, they wouldn't be able to get in the main house anyway, as I'll be using this window and the main door's closed. Speaking of which, let's go inside to have a look. This is my main crafting area. You have the 2 storage boxes that you've seen. You want to move the one close to the hatch slightly away from the wall, so you can close the window. You need a few mortars to make different things. I have a couple for cement paste, one for narco, etc. Then you have more storage. A workbench to make most of your stuff. And 2 smelters to melt the metal that you mine. There's my little monkey that I've named Cheeky, as he's a cheeky monkey. That other one is called Tetris and was a gift from a friend. In the next room we have 2 doors and a hatch going down. Which one would you pick if you were raiding me? First, let's go through the door in front of us. This is where I keep all my narcotics. It's in the middle of a building and it's easy to get to. From here we take the ladder up. You want all your ladders like this to be wood, because if somebody tries to blow that hatch open, they'll destroy the ladder and won't be able to get up. That leads us to another maze room. If somebody blows a ceiling out from above, dropping down in here will be a major pain. They wouldn't know where to go, and I'd have to blow the way out to get to the next room. In this one we have storage, and I've also put a secret bed in the floor. I can spawn at this one up here if the raiders are in the lower levels. In the next room we have a low grade storage stuff. It's a pain to get up here, so I don't store anything I really need. It's also a bit of a panic room in case the rest of the base is overrun. I've got a refrigerator full of food if there's a long siege. That storage is full of water, and the 2 next to it store weapons and armour. If there's anyone attacking through the main doors, I can snipe them from up here. The backup generator is to power the refrigerator and the inside turrets if the main generator is taken out. Let's have a look at the rest of the downstairs rooms. Through this doorway I have my main safe room. And that's where I store my vault. When you're designing your house, build it around your vault to make sure it's safe. I keep all my valuables here in the middle of the base where it's most protected. That's my main bed that I use to spawn and travel. In that refrigerator I keep all my eggs, because they're one of the most valuable items. They take weeks and months to collect, so you need to make sure that they're safe. And in here I have all my blueprints. So, keep all your most valuable stuff in the safest room in your house. Now we'll go down to the bottom floor. I'll just give you a quick look around. Okay, we have a bit of storage. In my refrigerators I keep perishables, like berries that I need, meat and vegetables, I use a grill to cook all my meat. We have some more storage. A preservation bin to create my jerky. An aircon to keep my room cool when I'm cooking. I would have preferred my fabricator on a level above, but I'd have to move lots of stuff around and it'd be a tight fit. This is quite a neat storage system. It's only one block wide, so you could have rows of these rooms next to each other, and raiders would have to blow their way into each room to get to the items. Because this is a bottom floor, it's most likely that people would get in here. That's why I keep the valuable stuff above and the low grade stuff down here. Another room that I've hidden away is a power generator. I should have put it on the second floor to keep it safe as it's important. I had already wired my house when I realised that, but that's something I learned from building this house. I show you the proper way of setting it up in my electrical systems video. Through that door we gain access under the building. It's like a little airlock. And this is how I've managed to keep all the floors nice and flat above. Build them on pillars. I've placed some other cables down here to keep the upper floors more tidy. The wood and stone ceilings are what I use for scaffolding, to keep the metal floor above flat. I've left them there just because it's another layer that raiders would have to get through. I've told you before the most likely way somebody's going to get into your house is through the ground floor. So, one of the biggest tips I can give you is build your main house on pillars. 2, preferably 3 pillars high. Then wall off the sides like I have. That's the most important thing I learnt by building this house. I should have made the pillars taller so no one can get into the ground level. Then, the only way a raider can get into your base is through the roof. And that's all the rooms to my house. It's not bad to say I built this all by myself. I have to admit it was really hard work. It started to feel like a second job and I was pretty exhausted when I'd finished. Running a building, looking after all the dinosaurs, and making a fertiliser for all the plant turrets is about the limit of what I can handle as a solo player. But I enjoyed doing this and I wanted to see what I could achieve by myself. I'll give you another quick look around the dino pen. Oh, I forgot to show you that turret. It'll shoot anyone coming through the main door, and it'll also shoot anyone coming in through the back door. Well, basically anyone who tries to get in here. You might have noticed that there are no lights in this base at all. That's because I don't use any. I also never have a fire, torch or grill on when it's dark. Lights and fire can be seen from miles away at night. If somebody from a hostile tribe is flying over, they'll know where your base is. Instead, when it's dark, I use a flashlight attachment on a pistol to see. It is a bit of a pain and takes some getting used to, but that's a price to pay for a stealth base. I will finish off by flying around the base so you can get a better look at its layout. The best place to build your base is on a cliff where there's only 1 or 2 sides to defend. That way raiders can't attack you from different directions, and you can focus all your defences in one area. With the rows of plants you have, the targeting you should select is player only, then on the next plant, player and tame dino, then carry on alternating that all the way down the plant row. Their T-Rex might have 60,000 health, but if half your plants are targeting a rider, he's going to get slaughtered. When they die, the T-Rex will sit there, with the other half of your turrets attacking it. I've tried to keep my base as small as possible, and as hard to see from the air as I can, because I don't want raiders spotting it if they fly by. I've spiked this area at the back so no one can land, and there's another 2 turrets to stop people coming in on birds. If people walk past my base down here, it's so high up that they don't even notice it, and there's no way you're getting a dinosaur up there. That's why I can put most of my defences at the front. I didn't wall off the back as it had blocked some of the turret fire. A large gate worked out really well as it kept the dinosaurs safe. Plus I can open it and use it as a back door, then just walk my T-Rex down the hill. I painted the entire base by hand with a paintbrush. I chose black because it has a matte finish, so you don't get the shine off the sun as you do with other paints. Also, with the trees around it, people might mistake it as a shadow. It seemed to work, as the only people that found me were my friendly neighbours. Raiders might be able to drop a person on top of the gate posts, so I placed a plant on top to shoot at birds and stop them from landing there. All the turrets shoot up here, so I could just spike the roof. The main thing that kept my base safe when I was starting off is that I built it in a forest to hide it, and out of a way where no one would need to go. Don't cut or knock down any of the trees around your base, as you'll need them for cover. If the raiders can't find you, they can't attack you. My base is only visible at a few points, and you have to be looking down at the exact moment when they fly over. If you watch my base video and copy its designs, to warn off any other tribes that have seen that video, place my flag down somewhere outside your base. I've put a link to the file and instructions in the description box below. If another tribe has also seen that video, they'll know that your base will be a nightmare to raid and hopefully scare them away. On my next video I'll be defending my base against a full attack from the largest, strongest and dumbest tribe on the server. They tried to attack me for hours, but don't even get to my main base. Well, that's it guys. Thanks for watching, and if this has been helpful, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links of other helpful videos at the end, and hopefully I'll see you again. Goodbye.